Hey guys, in some of the upcoming lessons, we will be using a platform called Auditorium to automatically test the code that you write and to make sure that you are on the right track to becoming a pro developer. So the way that we do that is you have an area where you can write code and you can run your code to see it in the output area. And based on the instructions for the particular exercise, once you have achieved the goals of the instructions and you think that you've gotten the right answers, you can click submit to test against our predefined tests and to make sure that you are on the right track. Each of the lessons on Auditorium is accompanied by audio descriptions of the task when you hit play. So take a look in the input area. I've started you off with 2 inputs, the numbers 2 and 3, and it will help you understand the tasks and also run through the solutions with you. All right, so the solution to this is pretty simple. Now, in order to get access to this platform, you will need to register using our special access code. So the first thing you need to do is head over to auditorium.ai and click on sign up. Next, go ahead and fill in your name, your email, and come up with a password. And then go ahead and click submit. Now go into your inbox and verify your email. Once you've verified your email, you can now go back and log into Auditorium using the email and password that you set up earlier. Now, once you're logged in, you should be able to go back to your Udemy lesson, click on this button to see the course content, and in the course resources for this lesson, you should be able to click on the enrollment code and enroll in the course I prepared for you. It's called 100 Days of Code Python Exercises, and if you go ahead and click continue, it'll take you to all of the lessons that are available. And there are a total of 36 lessons/exercises that we prepared for you. Now, the exercises don't correspond to the days in our 100 Days of Code course. Some of the days you will have lots of exercises and other days will be more project-based. So don't worry that you don't see 100 exercises on here. Now, I want to run you through some of the important parts of this platform so that we understand how it works before we get started. The first thing is that each of the lessons will contain a submittable exercise. And once you have submitted that exercise and it has been checked and deemed to be correct, then the lesson will have a completed check mark next to it. Now, if a lesson has not been viewed at all, it will stay white and blank like so. And if there is a lesson that you're currently working on, then it will have the spinning circle telling you where you should go next. Now, you can, of course, skip exercises if you wish. These exercises are only for your benefit and they do not contribute to your Udemy certificate at the end of the course. But I highly, highly recommend that you do them because it's important for you to be able to test your code and see if you're actually writing the correct code. Now, once you enter each of these lessons, the slide deck will automatically start playing. If you want it to stop, you can click on this button to play and pause. You can also change the play speed using the settings icon. If you want to hear me in the usual 2x speed or 1.5x speed, whatever you prefer, you can change that. And you can also change the font size of the code if you find it difficult to read. You can mute the audio by clicking on this button, or you can change the audio level as well using this area. Now, if you want to get an overview of all the slides in the deck, you can click on this little menu icon here, and you can scroll through all of the available slides in this particular lesson and click on whichever one you want to navigate to. Now, some of the lessons will be slide deck based, and these slide decks are usually to try and give you a little bit of information about some particular topic that we're talking about. In this case, it's inputs in Auditorium. Others will be coding areas where you can simply run the code or edit the code, and it will have input areas and output areas that you can use. The important thing to complete each of the lessons is to complete all of the coding assignments, and these come with a submit button. and an instruction pane. So in this case, the instructions tell you to try and take the inputs and write some code that multiplies the first line to the second line. So in this case, 2 times 3. Now, if I change this code and simply print 6 and I hit run code, you can see in the output area, the result of the running of my code gets shown right here. So 6 is printed, and 6 is in fact 2 multiplied by 3. However, if you notice in the instructions, as with many of the exercises, you're meant to be writing code and you're not meant to be doing the computer's work of calculating. And in this case, it's important that your code has to work for different input sets. So what we can do in the Auditorium platform is to create different test cases so that when you hit submit and your code is checked against the different test cases, you can see that it does pass where the test input is 2 and 3. Your output is 6 and the expected output is 6. This means this test has passed. However, in order to catch situations like this where students are not actually writing code but cheating by writing the actual answer, we've got other test cases as well to pass in hidden inputs that you can't change and you can't affect. So in this case, we're testing, well, does your code work for 5 multiplied by 12? Well, 6 obviously is not the right answer, whereas the expected output is 60. So in this case, your output does not match the expected output and the test case fails. Now, however, if you in fact wrote the code which took each of these inputs and multiplied it using code, then hopefully all 3 of these tests will pass and you would have completed the exercise with all green colors. Now, you can toggle back and forth between the task instructions and the evaluation pane, and you can also expand the evaluation pane in order to get more information such as hints and also to view each of the test cases more quickly and efficiently. Now, another thing that you can do here is you can go next to hear the next step of the audio narration, or sometimes if there are no other steps in the audio of a particular slide, it will simply go to the next slide. All right, so the solution to this is pretty simple. So there are solutions to each and every single one of these coding exercises, and you can tell by this green stripe here. So notice that the code solutions are read-only, so I can't actually type in this particular code area. However, you can copy the code if you wish, and you can test it out or add it to your notes if you wish. But the solution code will run through each of the steps that you should be thinking through or going through in order to arrive at the final solution. So as I go through the different steps, you can see the code changes, and I'm trying to describe to you my thinking process behind solving each of these exercises, so that hopefully if you did get it wrong or if you struggled to come up with the solution, at least you've got an explanation of the working process of arriving there. So the final solution should be in the last step of each code solution slide. Now, in addition to stepping through each of these steps by clicking next, you can also click on this button to simply skip straight to the next slide. Now, finally, once you've arrived at the final step, you should be able to click finish to complete the lesson, meaning that you have seen every single slide. However, in order to get the check mark, if you're confused at all, you have to be able to pass all of the submittable tests. Now, the last thing that I want to mention is that we are testing this Auditorium platform because the previous platform that we use, Coding Rooms, has shut down their public access. So they're no longer giving users free access to be able to use it, which is why we've switched to this brand new platform. It has a number of new features which I think are really cool and really awesome for teaching programming, but it's also been around for less time, so there are probably some bugs and some issues. If you want to report to the Auditorium team, you can hover over to the right-hand side and you can click on this button to send feedback. So pick an issue that you have had and you will be able to enter the feedback for the Auditorium team to be able to review. So hopefully by now you have signed up to the Auditorium platform, you have used the enrollment link in the course resources to sign up to the course that I have created for you, the 100 Days of Code Python exercises, and you are now ready to go to the next lesson where we're going to start the first exercise, day 1 printing.